Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island is a sequel to the Super Nintendo classic Super Mario World. So to be clear, this is the Game Boy Advance version of Yoshi's Island. This is the second Game Boy Advance game that I reviewed for the Wii U. The first was Super Mario Bros. Superstar Saga. After that review came out, I found out that in the options, there is a smooth pixel option to make it look better on a blown up TV screen. I tested this out on the game and it does look better. Why this wouldn't be turned on in the first place is anybody's guess. Now instead of a whole world like the previous game, you're confined to an island, which the Yoshis have claimed as their own. The Mario Brothers were too busy managing hotels to come back for the sequel, so they left the job to their sidekick animal Yoshi. That doesn't mean the Mario Brothers aren't going to be in this game, because they are, only with a twist. They are babies. The story starts out with a stork delivering the Mario Brothers from, I don't know where, the baby making factory? When Kamek, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it, just let it go, tries to abduct the two boys from the stork, but the witch ends up abducting Luigi, and Mario falls to the ground and somehow doesn't die. The baby Mario comes across some Yoshis. They decide to help out the little baby by getting his brother back and getting them home to their parents. The Yoshis decide to trade off their duties between levels and change the Yoshis at each level. That way they guess they won't get tired. But really the Yoshis are terrible babysitters. They never feed, change, or be careful with the baby Marios. In fact, they chuck this baby around between levels. Mario can't leave Yoshi's side for more than a few seconds before the witch's forces will come for the baby. You can find stars that'll increase the baby's time that Mario can be off Yoshi's back. So you're going to want to hunt for those secret stars as well as some of the other collectibles as well. Yoshi has the ability to eat most of the enemies that she comes across, and then turn those into eggs that she can shoot out as projectiles against the enemies, or anything Yoshi might want to shoot those things at. She also has a flutter jump that makes it so she can fly through the air by kicking her legs over and over again. These were some awesome things you could do, and I really liked the gameplay mechanic. Plus, occasionally, Yoshi could turn into different kinds of things, like a helicopter or a submarine. These sections were often brief and a nice change of pace from the normal gameplay. The level designs were much more different and more colorful than the original Super Mario World. They had more of like a children's art book look to them. The levels that you traveled through were very colorful and very nice to look at. There was one thing that I found annoying about the level designs, and that's when there were hidden areas. There were often times when you could jump into an area that you thought was solid, and it's got a secret area. I like these sections in the future Mario games, but this one was kind of annoying. The game would freeze for half a second and then start up again. I think the game just needed to load the area, and that's why there's a delay. It was very disconcerting to have to wait, and it just made it a little bit harder to travel through the areas than it really should have been, especially when you're getting into a part where you have to solve a puzzle in a bunch of these sections. However, minor issues aside, the level designs were fantastic. I died quite a lot, but never had a boss fight. I don't know why the creators of this game made the level so challenging, but the boss is a cakewalk. The bosses were very clever and interesting to come up against, but overall they weren't hard to beat at all. I love that Yoshi was basically invincible, with the exception of getting hit by a spike or a pitfall. Yoshi would only lose a life if she ran into one of the things that I mentioned before, or she didn't get back to baby Mario in time. It made the levels much more fun to play and more forgiving in the enemy encounters, since you really only had to worry about baby Mario floating away screaming. The best part of all, no timer. This game proves that you can make a great 2D platformer without the need of a timer. Without the timer, I had more fun in the levels exploring them without having to worry about some arbitrary time limit. The game's focus was exploration, and it did a great job of hiding secrets throughout all the levels. There is a secret level to unlock if you get 100% in all the levels of the world. But even if you didn't, you can always come back and try again. So this game has a huge amount of replayability, and trust me, you're going to want to do it. This also has an updated copy of the Mario Brothers game for you to play. So there's a bonus if you've never played the classic game. Super Mario World Yoshi's Island was fantastic. It was everything that a sequel should be. A continuation on the things that made the original game so much fun, while adding in something to make it unique enough to be a great game in its own right. Graphically, the game looked amazing. It controlled great, and the level designs were fun to play. At the amazing price of $7.99, this game is absolutely worth a buy.